Hello and welcome to this special edition of Kramer's Corner with Semiconductors, US Semiconductors. Today we'll look at the Semiconductor Index to begin with, the SOXX Index or Semiconductor ECFI shares, and it actually broke bullish Monday. And we also had the RSI back above 60 threshold, so now there's potential up to this gap area here, 252, 256. If it closes above the gap area, well, then we are likely to see a new all-time highs. And again, I have to stress this is not a recommendation to buy or sell or invest or anything. This is for educational purposes only, and it will be very quick and dirty. So buckle up; it will move fast. If it slides back, closing back below 237.5, well, then there's a risk we could slide back lower. And next one is Nvidia that has now it moved very close to its all-time highs here, just around 140.76. We are in a positive sentiment. We have been for that for a while. And if we're looking at the weekly chart, which is actually quite interesting, you see the weekly chart formed kind of a triangle-like pattern. Bounced after the sell-off, it bounced up to the 786 retracement, and then it dropped back below very close to the 100 actually, and testing this rising trend line, or forming this rising trend line. Now it's broken out at the upper falling trend line, and if it takes out the all-time highs at 140.76, well, then there's potential up to 160 to begin with. There's massive divergence on the RSI, but again, trust the trend. We are in a bullish trend also on the medium term. On the ARM holdings, also very strong move here. Monday session pushed higher towards the 172 resistance and could also test the all-time highs. And let's have a very quick look at the weekly chart. It is struggling a little bit, but we are in a bullish trend. There's a bit divergence. As you can see, this value here is lower than this one over here, and we still have this top and reversal pattern, but that actually I would say it's obsolete. We have a new scenario after bouncing back, and we could push higher towards all-time highs. It has to be stretched. I'm a shareholder in ARMS, and this again, it is not a recommendation to buy or sell. Supermicrocomputer, on the other hand, is really struggling. Minimum requirement is close above 51.90, and we also need the RSI to close back above 60 threshold for positive sentiment. If both of these situations occur, well, then there's potential up to 63 or maybe even 66 is 60 area where there's really strong resistance. We have the 100 moving average coming down, and the 200 is kind of flat. So they're really supermicrocomputer is quite struggling at the moment. So keep an eye on those levels, and that's what you can use them for. The advanced micro devices, or AMD, well, resistance here at 174.55 that needs to be taken out for upside potential towards the 190, very close to the 190 at least. It is struggling a little bit. If it moves back below 200 moving average, then I think we could see it pushing lower to around the 155, 150 maybe, even where we have some support. And so it's struggling. It really needs to break above there before I would do any investment in that one. The analog devices, analog devices has formed this ascending triangle-like pattern here, where there's strong resistance here at 236.86. So if it closes above that, and if we get a close above 60 threshold, you can see we were actually quite close to it. If it does close above that, well, then there's potential much higher for ADI, and it's likely to take out its previous all-time high and push up to 250 level at least. And what you can actually do, you can say, well, okay, this is just a rule of thumb. So from the bottom of the actual triangle pattern and to the breakout, you can see if we add that to breakout level. If it does break out, we don't know that. Well, then there is potential much higher towards 275, but there will be pauses on the way, and we do have a really strong resistance here around the 240, 250. Let's just see here, 244 level. And this is just a rule of thumb using this vertical here from the top to the bottom. There will be other levels to consider on the way, and we're going to look at that if it actually materializes. Applied materials also broken bullish. It is still just a few cents below the cloud area, but we have the RSI that has actually closed above 60 threshold. It actually closed also here, so we were actually in bullish trend. It just needed to gain some strength, and we could see it pushing towards the gap area here, and we just need to adjust a little bit. There we are, 231.25, 241.10. That is a strong resistance area, but I think we will test that possibly within the next week or so. If it slides back below 196.60, well, then I think this bullish picture has been demolished. Moving on to Broadcom in a rising trend, bullish trend, no divergence, likely to push higher. And here we can see it's also on the weekly. It is likely to take out the previous peak there, and we could see it push higher towards 200. However, if it does slide back, and this is what I will just move that down to around here, because that would be my current stop at the moment, 165.80 if I was invested. I'm not invested in this one, but if it was invested, that would be my stop. We could see a little bit of a correction down to around 175, but if it takes out the peak here at 186.42, well, then expect a move up towards 200. It is in the cards, I would say. Micron technology, well, has been struggling a little bit, but it is in a bullish sentiment, positive sentiment. But it needs to close above this resistance here at 113.85. Then there's potential up to this gap area here between 122.58 and 127.49. That will be a little bit of a struggle. As we can see, the 100 moving average is giving it a kind of a resistance, or putting a lid on it there. So it could be a little bit of a struggle. However, if we see the Micron technology share price sliding back below 99, then I think we'll see a bearish trend to resume. Qualcomm, well, it actually did close, the RSI closed above 60 threshold Monday, and that could give it a potential up to around 190.56, where we have a little bit of resistance. Not that strong really, but there is some resistance, but the 100 moving average will also add a little bit to that resistance, so it could be struggling, but I think we could see it push up there. If we see it closing above 190.56, well, then there could be further potential, but it is really a little bit struggling, but it has broken this sideways range trading area here really, so there could be potential, and especially if we'll close above the cloud and above the 100 moving average, but it will not be without struggling or struggle to move higher. TSM, or Taiwan Semiconductor as it's also called, of course, is in a bullish trend. It's stalling a little bit. There's slightly divergence. Let's have a look very quickly, and this is what you can do. So it's very close to, I think it's actually cancelling it at the moment. No, I think it's just a little bit below, but it's trading. It's testing 193.47. This peak over here, previous all-time highs, got rejected here. Could it be forming a rising wedge-like pattern? If it does, well, a breakout of the lower rising trend line will be the confirmation of that rising wedge-like pattern there. But for now, we are still in a bullish trend. But if it's really being rejected and testing the low rising trend line could be seen, if it breaks out, well, then there could be downside potential down to at least test the lows here around 170.78, maybe even lower. But if it breaks out and closes above and makes a new all-time high close, well, then we are likely to see higher levels on TSM. Intel has been an interesting case because that has really been lacking all the other semiconductors, and it's been struggling for a very, very long time. It has broken this sideways range here we talked about before a long time ago. It bounced, it broke above 55 moving average, testing the upper part of this range here. Then it took off a little bit, and we are in a positive sentiment, and I think it could push higher, but it will be a struggle towards closing this gap area, a massive gap area that was created back in early August, and we have the 100 moving average coming down that will also put a lid on it. However, if we could see this spike up there at 24.66 taken out, and there could be some energy higher towards the 29 level, but it will be a struggle. If it closes back below 22, then I think Intel will slide back towards the 20 and 90 level. All right, that's all for today this time, and I hope you enjoyed this little semiconductor video, and I will do more of those in the coming in the future. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.